Good evening, everyone. I'm Riley King, and welcome to the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. Let's begin. We have two breaking news stories this evening. Your first breaking news story, 17-year-old charged with killing man, shooting mother in Farmington. Let's take a listen to the video.
Life can change suddenly when you have cardiovascular disease. But at Catholic Medical Center, it doesn't have to.
Now to breaking news just into our newsroom. A teenager has been indicted in the death of a man in Farmington earlier this year. The Attorney General's office says 17-year-old James Bellier of Farmington is facing both first-degree murder and second-degree murder charges. James Laprade was found shot to death inside a home in March. Bellier was also indicted for attempted murder for allegedly firing a handgun at his mother. She survived. Bellier is scheduled to be in court early next month.
Yeah.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And our second breaking news story, with Nile virus detected in New Hampshire mosquitoes for first time this season. Let's take a listen to the video from WMUR News 9, Mike Cronin.
Life can change suddenly when you have cardiovascular disease. But at Catholic Medical Center, it doesn't have to.
Amy, this is a little early in the season to be finding the virus, but officials say it's not unusual. One batch of mosquitoes collected last Monday in Manchester tested positive for West Nile. It hasn't been detected in any humans or animals, though. For most people, the risk of contracting the infection is low, and symptoms can be mild, similar to the flu. Mosquito numbers are up in the city. Last year, Manchester processed about 12,000 mosquitoes for the entire season. Now, just in the past 2 weeks, more than 20,000 have been collected. Officials say humidity and recent rain are likely contributing factors.
This is nothing to panic about. We have West Nile in the state every year. This is the first time we've identified it this year. We've already seen it in neighboring states. So it's a good opportunity to remind people that the mosquitoes are out. There is a possibility, for transmission of West Nile or Tripoli, as there is every year. We just want people to be careful.
Now, to protect yourself and your families, public health leaders suggest eliminating standing water, as well as wearing insect repellent, and avoid being outside at dawn and dusk. Reporting live in Manchester, Mike Cronin, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Three-year-old boy died, sister injured in South Boston crash. Let's take a listen to the video from WCVB Boston.
Very sad scene here in South Boston as police investigate a fatal crash involving two vehicles. As I step out of the way, we'll push in, give you a better sense of the scene, and two of the vehicles involved, you can see them here. This crash killed a 3-year-old boy who was in a stroller and injured his 4-year-old sister. Here's the scene from Sky 5. This is the intersection of L and East 6th Street here in South Boston. Police Commissioner Bill Evans held a press conference a short time ago explaining that this was a two-vehicle crash. Both drivers stayed on scene. We're going to hear first from the commissioner and then from a witness.
At the corner of L and East 6th Street, we had a collision between a van and a passenger vehicle, and as a result of that collision, the van caromed over towards the sidewalk, up on the sidewalk it looks like right now, and we had two infants, one 4 years old and one 3 years old, hit on the sidewalk.
I was in at the front desk and I heard we heard a loud bang, a loud crash. We looked outside, we saw a van crash into the fence behind it, and when we could see a visual, we did see a baby carriage and a baby, and then a toddler, and then somebody took the baby out and were giving CPR. They laid him on the sidewalk. It was a scary sight.
The circumstances are under investigation right now. So just to recap the devastating breaking news here in South Boston, a crash has killed a 3-year-old boy and injured his sister. This is a breaking story. This is a developing investigation, and we will keep you up to date as soon as we get additional detail.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Oakland boy died of gunshot wound while playing with shotgun, police say. Let's take a listen to the video from WMTW News 8 Maine.
Today's modern pest phrase of the day is quiz.
Tell me everything you know about deer ticks.
The black-legged, or deer tick, Ixodes scapularis.
To learn more, visit our pest library online at modernpest.com.
Well, good evening. So here's what we know. Neighbors say they thought they heard what sounded like fireworks. Turned out to be a gunshot coming from 19 Church Street here in the town of Oakland just after 6 o'clock last night. Now, state police are telling us late this afternoon that 8-year-old Parker Stevens was handling his father's 12-gauge shotgun inside the closet of his parents' second-floor bedroom when the gun fired. Parker was found by his mother when she went looking for him. She and her 3 younger children were down on the first floor, didn't even hear the shot at first. Parker is the son of Wade and Sarah Stevens. Detectives said the gun had 8 shotgun shells in the magazine tube, and the boy apparently racked one of those shells into the chamber before he fired the gun. Neighbors who know the family well say they are devastated.
The mom was super nice. She cut my hair before me a couple months ago. I'm having a baby, so she has stuff for me, and it's just really sad.
The father was at work at the time of this shooting. Parker was going to be in the 4th grade over at Williams Elementary School here locally in Oakland. That's the latest. We're live in Oakland. Jim Keithley, WMTW News 8.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And our thoughts and prayers go out to the family and friends. And now let's take a look at your U.S. stock market and see how your U.S. stock market closed for this Wednesday evening. Your Dow Jones Industrial Average closed in the green and went up. Your Nasdaq closed in the green and went up. S&P 500 closed in the green and went up. CNBC IQ 100 closed in the green and went up. Gold closed in the green and went up. Oil closed in the green and went up. US 10-year closed in the green and went up. Euro/USD closed in the green and went up. And VIX closed in the red and went down. Dow surges more than 150 points in sudden move after Trump reportedly gets concessions from EU to avoid a trade war. Stocks closed sharply higher on Wednesday after President Donald Trump reportedly obtained concessions from the European Union to avoid a trade war. Trump's proposed summit with Putin delayed. Let's take a listen to the video from ABC News.
Chocolate chip.
I see what's going on here. Everybody's got different tastes. Well, now Verizon lets you mix and match your family unlimited plan, so everybody gets the plan they want without paying for things they don't. Jet-setting moms can video chat from Europe. Movie-obsessed teens can stream obscure cinema. It's like everyone gets their own flavor of unlimited. It's a metaphor.
Simo, not a metaphor.
Well played.
One family, different unlimited plans, starting at $40 per line. Switch now and get $300 off our best phones, all on the network you deserve.
The other news tonight, we began the week in Helsinki, of course. President Trump on the stage there with Vladimir Putin, siding with Putin over his own intelligence agencies. Well, tonight, the new fallout after that surprise tweet 24 hours ago. President Trump's invitation now to Vladimir Putin to now visit Washington. It took key members of the administration by surprise, but the president got hearty support from his Secretary of State today. And this question tonight, will Americans ever know what President Trump and Vladimir Putin talked about in that 2-hour meeting? Only their interpreters were there. Here's ABC's David Wright.
Tonight, as he headed off to his Bedminster golf course, President Trump refused to explain why he's inviting Vladimir Putin to Washington this fall. The White House still reeling from days of damage control after their first summit in Helsinki. Still, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo says a second sit-down with Putin is a great idea.
If that meeting takes place in Washington, I think it's all to the good. Those conversations are incredibly important.
At least one top member of the administration was caught off guard by the invitation, the nation's most senior intelligence official.
We have some breaking news. The White House has announced on Twitter that Vladimir Putin is coming to the White House in the fall.
Say that again? That's going to be special.
Director of National Intelligence Dan Coates says even he still doesn't know what Putin and Trump discussed in their 2-hour one-on-one meeting in Helsinki.
I think we will learn more, but that is the president's prerogative.
But Russia is telling the world the two leaders reached important verbal agreements. Russia's ambassador to the U.S. said Putin proposed a referendum in eastern Ukraine to resolve the conflict there, and President Trump was considering it. But today, a spokesman for the National Security Council rejected the idea, saying a referendum would have no legitimacy. The lack of concrete information from the administration has members of Congress deeply frustrated.
You can talk to Putin all day long. Here's what I want to know. What did you agree to do with him? And give us a chance to see if we think it makes any sense.
David Wright with us live tonight from the White House. And David, as we know, there is that push from many in Congress to hear from President Trump's interpreter now. Obviously, it was only the president, Vladimir Putin, and those interpreters in the room. But David, bottom line, how likely is it they'll get that translator to talk?
Very unlikely, David. It's never happened before. Her name is Marina Gross. She's a veteran State Department interpreter. Democrats and some Republicans have been hoping to compel her to testify behind closed doors, but it does speak to the level of frustration over the lack of clarity over Helsinki.
David Wright at the White House on a Friday night. David, thank you.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And that did it for the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your Wednesday evening, and I'll see you back here tomorrow with another newscast. And I'll have a news report coming up later on this evening. Good night, everyone. Bye.